And welcome everyone to chapter 20. Is it chapter 20? I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, chapter 20. Yeah. I literally only watched this episode like an hour ago, and I can't. The information and that bit just is in one ear out the bloody other. Hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize that B word there. But yeah. So as always, I'm Mitch. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 692 tweets and 692 pics, and of course I'm joined by Sean.
Hey, you can join me at Marvin the Martian _12 on Instagram.
Nice. So yeah, the foundling. The foundling. Obviously, no, I the last couple, because I've been working on a little model kit for the first time in like a year. That's nice to think about. This is a complete side tangent. Watching,
back, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, watching Jared from the Nerd Academy podcast reviews on the last couple of episodes, and it's like very good point of every episode title has like a double meaning.
Yeah.
Like the apostate, it wasn't just Mando who's an apostate. I can't remember his name.
The doctor.
Oh, he runs the town. What's his name? He was the pirate, and he was with the pirates. Now he's no longer with the pirates. He has the cape, and the little droids pull him along.
Yeah, he directed this episode too.
Carl Weathers. I cannot think of his character.
Grief.
That's the one. Yeah. He's a apostate from the pirates. Like everyone, it's stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I didn't notice that. Well done, Jared. I think he wanted to be on this week's, but he never replied to the message when he asked when we're recording. And then here we are. So, well, Jared. But
sorry.
Here at the end of the season. But yeah. So obviously the foundling here applies to like Grogu and Bo-Katan again, which I feel sorry for Bo.
I think she knows what she's doing there. I think deep down inside,
I like to think she knows what she's doing. I genuinely think that the angle being played here is she's getting manipulated. This is Cole. She likes to think she knows, but the manipulation here is just it's Cole, right? You think you know, but you don't, and she's just slowly drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, the covert reminds me of Waco, that John Cornish or Knish, like it was years ago. Like that whole thing reminds me of a stereotypical cult leader. You know, like the whole like. You know, just saying this is the way sounds like their motto. You know, like a cult.
Oh, that's 100% their motto. Yeah, it's like, this is the way. This is how we do things.
Yeah,
they are very much acting on the stereotypical indoctrinations of cults. It's like, people at the lowest. Well, hey, you're welcome here. You're this. You're that. Have you taken your helmet off? No. Well, you're already doing what we're doing. We're gonna be.
Why don't you come over here, man, sister?
Unconditional love. It's just like, you've been redeemed. Oh, this, oh that. Oh. And even with Din before, right? It's like, you can't redeem yourself. You can't have our unconditional love because the waters aren't real anymore. Like the waters are gone, the minds are gone. Like you've made that one little mistake in our eyes, and that's it. You're gone forever. And it's so
bathing
creepy.
Of the water. The bathing in the living water reminds me of being born again. When you take 100% vows,
yeah.
You know, and all this, you know, like this whole thing it just feels like stereotypical religious cults that like prey on people's weaknesses to build their ranks, you know, and like. But I have a feeling, you know, this is that. I think by the end of this season, I think the status quo of Din I can never pronounce his name. Din Djarin will change like drastically. Like, you know, like
I hope so, but part of me likes that we're being strung along with this cult with him. And I'm like,
well, I mean, like he's already
going.
I think you're gonna like this. To me, I think he's just building towards like. I think, and this is just me as a fan, not me. This is not a hint at like what's to come. I think this makes more sense if at the end of the day it's him like trying to take down the cult, or take down the Carver,
Yeah.
with Bo, and I think the Mythosaur will definitely play a big part in that. I think she knows what she's doing. I think she's playing the long game with these people.
I like to think that I really want to, when I think it, genuinely believe it, because right now it's just funny the way the actors in this portray emotion, and what you can see what they're thinking through the lens,
yeah,
or the visors on the helmet. And to me, the way Sackhoff was talking, when, let's be honest, the Armorer was gaslighting the hell out of her. So, lucky you saw a vision of the Mythosaur. It's like, no, it was real. That, of course it was, dear. Oh, of course it was real. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here now. You're seeing things. I'm gonna believe you. I'm just gonna gaslight you into thinking that it's all for this and that. Which part of me is like, did she actually see it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think you might see that doubt sometime, but I think at the end of the day, I think she really wants to lead. She wants that destiny fulfilled.
She does, but here's my thing. Here's my prime example, and my one singular example that I think is a bit of a checkmate for why I don't think she's fully where she wants to, or where she thinks she is if she is playing them. She has a legitimate claim to the Darksaber now, and she hasn't taken it.
Well, I think that goes against the whole, like, I can't just take it. I mean, we've already seen how that played out, where someone gave the Darksaber to her, and nobody fell in concert.
But when they're in the caves or in the mines last week, she didn't drop the Darksaber. She picked it up and saved him. That gives her a claim to that saber. That's part of the Darksaber rules. So she has that claim. She hasn't noticed it. I don't think she's. That's why I don't think she's. She might think, and she's got this plan to overthrow him. But I think she's that vulnerable where she's gonna kind of drink the Kool-Aid accidentally.
I think you're gonna see the doubt. I think in a couple episodes where she's doubting that. But I think at the end of the day, I think that. I mean, even this episode kind of showed that she's moving chess pieces along. Like by saving Paz's kid. And like. That whole thing is like, you're leader of the tribe, stuff like that. She's playing them, and she's trying to. She sees them as a way to build her Mandalore back up, right? She sees an opening, I think, especially with the Mythosaur.
I think that's how she started, but I think she's fallen quite quite hard and fast. We will see, and I'm excited to see how it goes, because to be fair, either way, I think it'd be like a nice way to take it. But part of me is really hoping that she's fallen for it without realizing, because to me, that whole Darksaber bit, for someone that obsessed, and that we see her in the start of the season, and she's like a better word, pissed off that she hasn't got it, and she hasn't got that claim anymore. She has a claim to that saber, and she didn't take it. Well, now that's very Bo-Katan like. If it was season 2 Bo-Katan, she would have absolutely taken that thing.
I think she sees Mando as an ally.
100%, yeah.
And I think you're gonna see Mando kind of separate himself. I think eventually, he's separating from this, like, because like. I think his feelings for Grogu is going to override what the clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already done it once, right? Like last season, he did it because of Grogu and all that.
I mean, this is almost like a weird parallel to The Last of Us, in a way, right? Like he's, like this is like another parental view.
Say Pascal does like his broken father figures and
he likes the
small companions.
Makes me wonder if I ever get a chance to talk to him, I'm going to ask him if he has any.
He taught Ellie how to shoot, and now he's teaching Grogu how to shoot. It's all the same. I love the fact that there's a comparison made between Mandalorian and The Last of Us. I think it's fantastic. Obviously, one came before the other, but it's one of those where it's just pure coincidental that he ends up in the same role two vastly different shows.
Almost in the very, very small span that they're like almost shown together, right? One ends, the other one starts. You know, it's like he's.
I found it adorable in like the early episodes of The Last of Us. He actually, it was when you first see the clickers in that, or the only time you see the clickers. He actually stands like Mando, like he's pointing the gun. It's like, I know where you got that from. You're bringing a little sprinkling of Din into The Last of Us, and let's bring a little bit of Joel into the Mandalorian, because they're both are better for it.
But what are the odds of Paz taking his helmet off and being John Favreau?
Sure, I was thinking that in the old the Favrelorian, John Favrelorian. I was thinking that watching this, like, are we ever going to see Favreau in that suit? Because I'd love it.
But okay, like, I mean, look, you saw how antagonistic he was towards Mando, like at the beginning, right? And now he's, I think, especially after this episode, I think he's going to be more of a, I want to say
back to like season 1, where they, he wasn't that.
Yeah.
Because he's only been antagonistic towards him since he's had the Darksaber, because obviously his family had claim to that thing before. But if I can see him going back to like season 1.
It'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see if that happens, where he lies when the eventual civil war starts happening between Mandalorians again. Like that's gonna happen. By the way,
it's a day that ends in Y that they fight against.
It's a cycle with these people. The Mandos. Like they have to. It's like in their DNA, they have to fight each other every.
Oh yeah, because this arc will all wrap up, and Bo will be leading Mandalore, but then someone's not gonna like that Bo's leading Mandalore, and then they're gonna have a fight, and another Mando civil war. Mandalorians just can't get along. That's how I'm seeing it anyway. You'll get like the really religious Mando selling the armor against no, we take our helmets off. No.
Yeah. The history books of the Mandalorian must be really thick and repetitive, man, because it's just
100%. Yeah, you could just condense it too, and they did it again and again. Yeah. Just you fill it all on a single page. You haven't got to have all the minutiae in a
dot. Yeah. It's in their DNA for sure. And I don't know if anybody noticed, like if you look closely at the
you can bring up the Boba Fett one.
No. The Mandalorian armor seems to be like remnants of like stormtrooper stuff. Like it shows how scattered they really are. These people are just like kind of scavengers.
I thought you were gonna bring up the old like animated Boba Fett, like Easter egg on the armor, where it's like that bright blue and yellow. It's like I saw that guy in the back. You can't hide him from me.
The colors are nice. I love the colors though. Like it distinguishes. Like without like seeing their face, it gives them a distinguished feature to tell them apart. Even if you don't know their names.
Yeah. So this is my question since like season 1, when we've seen Din's armor obviously change over time. Does he forever stay chrome, or does he have a color? Do we actually work our way towards that color scheme for this guy?
I think you may get some color by the end of the series. I think. I think that last sequence is gonna be him in like multicolored,
just spray painting Beskar.
Rattle can. But then again, he did work really hard for that chrome Beskar though.
He did, and it makes him stand out a little bit.
And I can't wait till the eventual scene of seeing Grogu with a little helmet too.
Oh, his little chest plate's adorable. I saw that, my heart melted. I'm like, oh, it's just a circle. She just made him a plate, literally.
And he's still wearing the Beskar chainmail, armor.
I clocked that. I thought it was funny that it's like the first time you've seen it since he's been wearing it. It's just like, oh, they actually had that on show for a change, and then lo and behold, it's because he has to wear his little plate underneath his little baggy thing.
Just to answer your question, hold on. After this series has ended, like, where would you want to see this character go? Like, where do you see?
I think that entirely depends where this season ends. To be honest.
Do you see like? Do you see him in a movie or something like that? Do you think they'll?
Would I like to see a Mando movie? I think it depends what the story is if he was in the movie. Like, I think if this doesn't end, like, I'm not that I assume that this season will wrap up the whole Mandalore stuff. I can see it going for a couple, but if it's a case of a bit like how Clone Wars did it, right? Like you have your season, like, your season 7, and then like the last bit's essentially a movie, and like all the budget's packed into this. Like if you did it that way and gave it like a theatrical release, like I wouldn't be against having like the last 4 episodes of this arc from like the Darksaber wrap up with a movie, like a Mandalorian War or something. That'd be quite cool. I'd be down for that.
Well, like,
and you do that, and you do the I think they've like Favreau and Filoni have teased it, or someone's teased it recently about the crossover, and you bring them all back. Obviously, you have Ahsoka, and you have Sabine and Bo, and you have Boba there, and you see them all shiny on screen. And one says on your left,
the Ahsoka show coming.
That's true. You know, Ahsoka comes through the what's that weird dimension place that she does? And she did it with Rebels, and it's all black and white, and I can't think what it's called. But she comes out of that, and she's like on your left, and you do this. And there's Darth Maul with 12 spider legs on the other side because you have to bring him back somehow.
You gotta bring.
Yes, I know he's dead. This is post Return of the Jedi. I know Maul's dead currently. Like, it's fine, but he can come back. He's done it before. Because revenge does wonders for the will to live. I love that line so much. The way he says it is so good. Yeah, I can see it going that sort of a direction. You have the big budget crossover as a movie. Or a limited release movie. That'd be cool. I'd pay to go see that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would assume that when the show ends, I don't think that's the last time you're going to see the character. You know, I think what was so great about Mando was he was a blank slate. There was no baggage, nothing. It was just the armor, you know. And other than that, you know, he was kind of a blank slate. You know, they could just build.
He's had an interesting path, Jared. Old Mando, because it's no secret that he started off as a Boba Fett thing. Or this was the Boba Fett movie, then the Boba Fett, the anthology movies got repurposed. And it's like, we're not going to do Boba. Let's make it someone completely new and different. And then he just like skyrocketed. Oh, that is a hell of a move.
You know, I mean, it's like we've already seen what, you know, Boba Fett does now, right? You know, like, you know, he's not as good as people remember him to be, or maybe the show just didn't do it justice. But like, I think with just using a brand new character, like, one, they gave him an opportunity to you know, bring another IP into their, you know, their worlds, you know, and now, you know, like when the series ends, we can do anything with a character, you know, we can flash forward, flash back, whatever, you know. And
is this you confirming that the series ends despite Favreau saying there's no end in sight currently?
No, I'm not confirming. If he says it, it's not happening. You know, like, but I mean, like
contradictory statements.
But I mean, like, you eventually have to.
I say, you know, I say, you know, Favreau say there's no end point. There's obviously going to be an end point. Nothing can go on forever.
I mean, it'd be stupid to do it. You know, you don't want to. You don't want to do it.
No one.
What X-Files did. I mean, X-Files, you know, like notorious for overstaying their welcome. You know, and
you don't want to be the supernatural. No.
Oh, that's a better example. Yes, yes. You do not want to be supernatural.
You don't. You know, at this point in my life, I wouldn't mind a generation-long Mando show watching Grogu actually, you know, learn to talk. I know they like to take their year jumps. Right. Oh, I love Old Man Mando. Oh, doesn't sound right. Old Man Mando. Old Mando. Old man.
I mean, I can picture the character being on Grief's world, you know, just chilling in a hut somewhere on a rocking chair, and then somebody just pulls up and thinks they're gonna rob him, and next thing you know, you hear that little twangy Mando music. I love that his theme music. Like
so good.
It's such a like I give.
It was instantly iconic. That thing came out and it just embedded itself. It's like
it's done wonders. It's done wonders of bringing back the spaghetti western type theme. Like everybody. Like it sounds like a Sergio Leone movie. When I hear this, so.
Right. I have one question. One question. One very simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Why do these Mandalorians insist on living in a cave right next to the biggest and worst things that are going to kill you every day?
I think it's pride. I think they are. I'm gonna stay here. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I think they let pride get in the way of like endangering their tribe. That's how I read it.
It's like what, we're 3 episodes in and twice they've been attacked by giant monsters. What are you doing? Move.
I read it as like they're just like, I'm not moving, you're gonna move, right? Like tight. It almost reminded me of that whole thing in Civil War from like what Sharon said to Steve, like, plant yourself like a tree.
Say no, you move.
That's how I read it.
Deep down, I know it's because it'd be a very good training spot. There's supposed to be fighters in all this, and then there's of course the mythosaur parallels where we tame these massive beasts. Like these are our thing. And of course, they do that at the end with the little caca. I say little caca things. The big bat, chicken, turkey, bird things, whatever. It's a nice little. Now, part of me thinks that I can see that being Bo's idea. It's like, no, we're at the core, Mandalorians like beast tamers. So like, we're going to tame these 3 things, and you can fly further and all what's not. And then they're going to come back to Mandalore. Like, look at us, we are true Mandalorians.
Pride is a killer.
Yeah, but on the surface, I'm like, just get out of there. Like you're losing kids, your foundlings. Like,
I mean,
if you survive very long down here, like you are ants to these things. Like,
from the look of that nest, I don't think that's the first time a kid was snatched up by that bird. And
I mean, as Vizsla says, they always run out of. They get to like that point and run out of fuel like every time. And it's like, well, maybe you should fly a ship.
Well, that's what I mean by like pride. They're like, no, I'm gonna do this. You can't tell me otherwise. I can't.
Mandalorians have starfighters. We know because Bo-Katan has one. Like, just use this ship. Come on.
But yes, but I think it's not their tribe way, or what? It's not
possibly, yeah. No, that's a newfangled Mandalorian thing. That's blasphemous.
They almost read me as like against technology. Like if I could see their eyes, I'm sure that their eyes kind of like widened open when Bo landed her ship, on the little rock. It's like someone going back in time and like showing someone an iPhone. It's like, whoa, crazy! Never knew these things existed.
But the weird part of that is you've only got to go back like 50 years for that to actually.
Our phones.
Like, what's this?
But I just read it as like pride. Like, I'm not moving from this place. You're gonna. I'm gonna.
I can see that.
Or as a training, like this is the perfect place to train. It's like something's eventually gonna come out, so we can shoot it.
Also, this little pocket of Mandos is the size of it's growing. I know it's been a couple of years timeline since we last saw them, but they've been snatching kids. There's a lot of them now. They were like 5 last time we saw them.
A lot of families,
Quote found. You can't really call them snatchling, I suppose.
That could definitely get someone in trouble when they say snatchlings.
Ezra Miller's a Mandalorian. Who'd have guessed?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the dichotomy between this group of Mandalorians and the like the Bo-Katan, night owls, where the night owls are like flying around in spaceships, almost remind me of like Robin Hood type characters, and like these are just like, like I'm gonna like live by the old ways, and
these are the zealots, like the Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Jehovah's of Scientology is probably a very good way for it. Like, they believe in the old spaghetti monster in the sky. There's some random alien controlling everything.
But it turns out that there are actually monster in the sky actually exists.
Yeah.
It's like, what would be the, like, how scared would people be if they knew that the Scientology, the aliens actually existed, but
see, I'm one of those people where I think it's very what's the word? I can't think of the right word for it, but it's so small-minded, I guess, for a lack of a better phrase, to think that we're the only ones, we're the only living things out there. Like,
oh no, I completely believe, man.
But for people that don't believe in it, like, yeah.
I mean,
do I think we've been visited? Probably not. I think they look at us and be like, ugh, I ain't going down there. Well, bunch of monkeys. No.
Technically, aliens do exist, right? Like they found bacteria on different planets, that are like Mars and stuff like that. So, like,
oh yeah, if there is life form out there somewhere.
If that exists, obviously there's other like to say that we're the alone in the universe is kind of weird, because it's like this is a big.
I just hope we're not the most advanced, because if we are the most advanced, then just close the universe now.
Yeah,
just get rid of it now.
It's barely get into space, We have to strap like a megaton missile to our backs to get to space, Like, but I truly believe, I do believe that there are other people, other things out there that are aliens. Like we just haven't seen them. It's like,
I need Grogu to come and take me away, please. Take me to a better spot. I'll be a fan. I'll drink that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but those helmets gotta stink though, man. Because like they have not taken them off for like decades.
But isn't it they can take them off, just not in sight of other people?
Yeah, but that poses the question: how can they reprocreate? Do they just walk around like? Do they get their?
I mean, unless Star Wars got funky and stuff's on the head, I think it'd be quite easy.
Do they get it on with the helmets on, or is that just like?
I assume the helmet stays on. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, that reminds me of that burlesque Star Wars theme show that they just recently had in LA. Like,
it's also a very funny Destiny reference. The helmet stays on. If you know, you know.
But hey, do you think that's who do you think the mother of that kid is, that Paz's kid? Do you think that it's a natural, like, biological kid?
I have no idea. I think there was if it's just like a foundling he's had, and it's a case of, it's like a Joel and Ellie, like the adopted family, then no, I wouldn't be surprised. But the way he acted in this, I didn't get that sense.
Yeah.
I got the sense that it's actually his.
That makes the other question is, like, do you think the armor is the mommy? Because the only reason I wouldn't say that she is, like, her reaction to that kid being snatched was like, oh, there's another one.
It's like, okay, well, I guess he wasn't strong enough to survive. It's what he deserves.
We'll find another one.
Just like, I should get a jetpack, or what, Rising Phoenix, whatever they call those things.
Did you see the kid with the backpack, the jetpack? Did you see, like, I don't know if you saw it. It was like a very split-second thing, but I saw a kid with a little
yes, because he does the look. There's the whole training stuff on the beach, isn't there, where Grogu puts on the gauntlet and demolishes that cocky kid.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm not a fan of the Yoda species being jumpy and flippy all over the place. That was my one fear. I hated it in the prequel movies, and I didn't ever want it to carry over. Everybody's carrying over. I'm like, no, history repeats itself. Why?
It's cuter. It's cuter on Grogu than it was on Yoda. Yoda, it was like,
yeah, but Grogu's
like,
it'll be Grogu at some point.
Yeah, but Grogu's a kid now. You know, I think but like
Know,
Yoda was
man's
like
50
senior
years.
citizen doing that.
He's like what, 60 years old at this point? Like, god damn.
Yeah.
This is my. I'm gonna end this on this question. Does the show keep going until Grogu's an adult? Like, do we just follow it until like Grogu's endpoint?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could do that by jumping around.
Ironically, jumping around like Grogu.
But you can. I think there's a way to. I think it almost. I think it would rather. I would rather just leave it at like I don't know how to say this. Like I want to see what he looks like eventually, but I don't want to see it in the series. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes any sense.
Right, well, it's that time again. He knew exactly when the fact that I said it was going to be the end point of this and took full advantage of that. Clever. That kid's too smart. Too smart for me. So, yeah, we are going to end it there. Let us know if you want to see Grogu, like, follow Grogu to the end point. If you're going to Dragon Ball Z this way, you start off with kid Grogu, and then you get adult Grogu, and then you get resurrected Ghost come back Grogu and GT Super Grogu. Yeah, so we'll catch you next time. So goodbye.